Known for his intense roles and stoic demeanor, Charles Bronson became a symbol of violence and arrogance on screen. He died 20 years ago, but his daughter has recently revealed some unknown facts about her father. From his early struggles to the misunderstood aspects of his life and character, Bronson's story is far more complex than we ever imagined. Keep watching this video as we uncover the story of the real Charles Bronson. To truly grasp who Bronson was, we must rewind to his beginnings. Born Charles Buchinsky. On November 3, 1921, in Ehrenfeld, Pennsylvania, a bleak coal mining town, he was one of 15 children in a Lithuanian immigrant family. Poverty cast a long shadow over Bronson's childhood. He wore his sister's dresses to school, shaved his head to ward off lice, and felt compelled to start earning a living far too young. The harshness of life pushed him to take up smoking at just 9 years old. After his father passed away from lung disease when Bronson was only 10, survival became even harder. By 16, he was hauling coal in the mines for a meager $1 per ton. Those 6 grueling years left him with painful memories of back-breaking labor scars and the dreaded smell of coal that he claimed never left him. The cramped tunnels etched lasting trauma in him, leaving him with chronic headaches, claustrophobia, and what he called his unsightly hands. In his 2001 biography, Menacing Face, Worth Millions. A Life of Charles Bronson. Brian D'Ambrosio noted how Bronson, after finding fame, spun tall tales about his past to keep journalists guessing. He painted himself as a hard-luck kid with dramatic claims that he couldn't speak English. He claimed that his mother had once sold him to travelers and that he was forced to wear his sister's clothes. However, according to his first wife, Harriet Tendler, the story about the dresses was pure fiction. His brothers loved to tease him about those wild tales he'd made up, she said. But amid the myths, one truth stands out: being drafted into the Army in 1943 marked a turning point in Bronson's life. The kid who once joked about waiting on street corners with a milk bottle, ready to rob someone, found a renewed sense of purpose in the military during World War II. Assigned as a gunner and driver, rumors swirled that he served as a tail gunner, flying 26 combat missions in the Pacific. Although he rarely spoke of his wartime experiences, Harriet recalled his deep sense of pride in his service. Still, Bronson's Army stint wasn't without incident, and Bronson's loose again. On the Set with Charles Bronson author Paul Talbot shared a story of a conflict in Kingman, Arizona, where Bronson clashed with a sergeant during gunnery training. "I picked him up and threw him. For some reason I thought as long as I didn't hit him, I wouldn't get into trouble. But when he landed, he broke his arm," Bronson admitted. His punishment was 6 months of hard labor, lugging sides of beef and hauling out garbage. A humbling experience for the man who would later command the screen. Following his honorable discharge in 1946, Bronson's path to stardom began with humble jobs, a baker in Philadelphia and a bingo caller on the Atlantic City Pier. While working, he slowly nurtured his true passion for the arts. A twist of fate came when he encountered a group of actors who spotted his skill as a painter and invited him to help with set design. Before long, Bronson found the thrill of performing Irresistible. Encouraged by his new friends, he gave acting a try, and by 1949, he was off to California taking acting classes and meeting his first wife, aspiring actress Harriet Tendler. They married that same year. Initially, Bronson used his birth name, Charles Buchinsky, but it soon posed a risk during the communist witch hunts of the McCarthy era. Fearing his Lithuanian name might attract unwanted attention, he decided to change it. While driving with fellow actor Steve McQueen, they spotted a sign reading Bronson Street. McQueen, with a spark of inspiration, shouted that it was the perfect name for his friend. Bronson took McQueen's advice, adopting the name that would soon become synonymous with the rough, tough anti-hero. Ironically, Bronson's father, Valis Buchinsky, had once changed his name to Walter to sound more American. Before they were stars, Bronson and Jack Klugman shared an apartment in New York City during the late 1940s, each hustling to carve a path in the acting world. Their friendship blossomed during those lean years, and even after they went their separate ways, The bond remained strong. Klugman later reminisced about their shared quirks, particularly Bronson's unexpected knack for ironing. "He was a damn good ironer," Klugman joked, a talent that contrasted sharply with the gritty, no-nonsense characters Bronson would become known for in his future career. Bronson's journey with language was rooted in his Lithuanian heritage. At home, Lithuanian was the norm, with English taking a back seat until he entered school. Growing up in a multilingual community, he leaned heavily on Lithuanian, with friends only learning English out of necessity. Self-taught in English, Bronson developed a distinctive accent that often led his fellow servicemen to think he was a foreigner. In 1958, his role in Machine Gun Kelly put Bronson on the map, particularly drawing the admiration of French actor Alain Delon, who invited him to Europe. Bronson's European debut came in the 1968 film Adieu l'ami, Farewell Friend. At first unsure, Bronson accepted the role after learning that European cinema valued character and depth over appearance, a refreshing shift from Hollywood's focus at that time. Adieu l'ami became a blockbuster hit in France, turning Bronson into a beloved star across Europe. In the United States, he was still carving his niche, but that changed as he took on roles like Lieutenant Danny Tunnel King in The Great Escape. This part hit close to home, mirroring Bronson's own claustrophobia, a fear rooted in his days as a coal miner in the cramped tunnels. In a memorable scene, he taps into this phobia, adding a layer of authenticity as his character panics in the escape tunnel. "Even now, when I'm in the back of a car, I get those feelings," he admitted in a 1970s interview. Film critic Roger Ebert once noted that Bronson's real-life personality mirrored his character's uncommunicative in private, preferring solitude over socializing with others. As his career progressed, Bronson became known for his roles in violent films, and his off-screen reputation mirrored this intensity. His stoic face and silent demeanor often led people to perceive him as someone who had experienced real violence, which wasn't entirely untrue. There were reports of Bronson getting into physical altercations on set, including a famous incident with the director. He was notoriously difficult with directors who he felt didn't understand his vision, and he often scoffed at the Hollywood nonsense he encountered. In a 1971 interview with Paris Match, he didn't hold back, saying, "Most producers and directors are idiots. Everyone in the film thinks only of money." Directors who worked with him had many tales about their volatile relationship with the actor. Don Siegel. In his autobiography, A Siegel Film, recounted that while filming telephone actress Lee Remick was so intimidated by Bronson that she hesitated to touch his face in a scene. When Siegel asked her why, she nervously replied, "I don't dare. He'll bite me." Bronson also had a problematic relationship with the press and expressed discomfort with in-depth interviews or personal questions. When journalist Stephen Whitney wrote Charles Bronson Superstar in 1975, Bronson was outraged by the content, especially its comments on his wife Jill. According to accounts, Bronson allegedly tried to halt its release and may have attempted to buy copies of the book. Film critics weren't spared his scorn either. He once remarked, "We don't make movies for critics since they don't pay." Roger Ebert, after a 1974 interview, commented on Bronson's capacity for violence, noting the fierce intensity in his eyes. Discussing critic Jay Cox's harsh review of The Stone Killer, Bronson ominously said, "One way or another, sooner or later, I'll get that man. Not physically, but I'll get him." He also had little patience for younger Hollywood actors, calling them full of bull. In a 1977 interview with The Washington Post, he expressed his conviction that his real-life experiences gave him an edge over the method guys of the industry. "I can play the character better because of my experience, because of the things I've been through," he said. He also singled out actors like De Niro, Stallone, and Pacino, suggesting they all seemed like variations of each other. Dismissing the idea of awards, Bronson brushed off the Academy as a lot of bunk. Notably, his only major nomination was an Emmy in 1961 for his role as Soldier Conklin in Memory in White, a television episode starring Ronald Reagan. Despite these clashes, Bronson was deeply respected by those who knew him well, such as Walter Hill, during the filming of the movie Hard Times. Hill, who directed Bronson's wife in Hard Times, recalled Bronson's impressive physique. He was in remarkable shape for a man his age, about 52 then, Hill shared. His coordination was exceptional, and he had a fantastic build. The only drawback, Hill noted, was that Bronson's smoking habit impacted his endurance, meaning he probably wouldn't last more than 30 or 40 seconds in a real fight. Their professional relationship took a hit over Hill's decision to trim scenes featuring Bronson's wife, a choice that Bronson found overly strict. After this, Hill noticed Bronson's shifting warmth toward him. Once at a party, he walked right past me without a word. But then a year later, he treated me like an old friend. Hill recalled, underscoring Bronson's unpredictable and moody nature. Bronson, known for embodying indomitable characters, had no tolerance for seeing his on-screen persona killed off. When handed a script that doomed his character, he wasted no time in confronting the director. In 1991, Richard Crystal sent Bronson the script for City Slickers, hoping he would take on the role of Curly. Within a day, Bronson called him back livid and cursed him out. Crystal recounted in 2021 that Bronson exclaimed, "I'm dead on page 53. How could you do this to me?" Charles. Bronson doesn't die. This defiant stance, rooted in his reputation as the unbreakable hero of Death Wish, was part of the tough guy legacy he carefully cultivated. Crystal tried to explain that Curly's death was pivotal to the plot, but Bronson would hear none of it. At age 52, Bronson accepted the role of Paul Kersey in Death Wish. 1974, a career-defining moment that cemented him as the embodiment of vigilante justice. In the film Kersey, a mild-mannered architect transforms into a vigilante after a brutal attack on his family. This gritty portrayal of a man seeking justice in a lawless world resonated deeply with audiences, yet the film was controversial. Director Michael Winner recognized Bronson's intense presence as perfect for the complex role of Kersey. However, Death Wish wasn't initially conceived with Bronson in mind. When Winner began casting, he offered the role to Hollywood heavyweights like Clint Eastwood and Frank Sinatra, but Bronson seized the chance, telling Winner in his typical style, "No, I'd like to shoot muggers." The bold portrayal of vigilante justice sparked intense debate. Some even warned Bronson of its dangerous potential, including his agent Paul Kohner. However, Bronson argued viewing the story as a cautionary tale rather than an endorsement of violence. Released on July 24, 1974, the film became a blockbuster, raking in over $22 million and breaking box office records in New York theaters. The unexpected success of Death Wish sparked 4 sequels, with Bronson reprising his role in films released between 1974 and 1994. The series continued to stir cultural conversations, especially in 1984, when the real-life subway vigilante Bernhard Goetz shot 4 men on a New York City subway. The cultural legacy of Death Wish even found its way into politics decades later. At the height of his fame, Charles Bronson reportedly earned close to $2 million per film, an amount bolstered by his iconic roles. Yet Bronson often found himself grappling with the brutal image he'd become known for. "It's like seeing myself in a carnival mirror, distorted and menacing," he reflected in 1977. His tough persona wasn't far from reality, as noted by various directors. By the 1980s, Bronson's name had become synonymous with toughness itself. Fans worldwide celebrated him as an icon of resilience, with Italian audiences calling him Il Brutto, the ugly one, and the French referring to him as one of their monstres sacrés of cinema. In Japan, he was so revered that his name once appeared on a sign stretching an entire city block. In reality, he struggled with deep-rooted fears and anxieties. One of his most persistent phobias was an intense fear of germs, a condition that dominated much of his life. This germophobia led to a significant aversion to physical contact, particularly handshakes. While many celebrities would engage with fans, Bronson shied away, often appearing aloof to those around him due to this unease. Another of Bronson's hidden fears was fire. During the making of Death Wish, It became evident that Bronson harbored a significant fear of being trapped in a burning building. He reportedly refused to stay in any hotel room above the second floor, worried that a fire could block his escape. These anxieties revealed the man behind the tough exterior, offering a glimpse into his vulnerabilities. Despite his enormous fame, Bronson had little interest in watching his own films. Instead, he sought fulfillment in creative outlets like painting and sculpting. He worked under the pseudonym Buchinsky to ensure that his art was valued for its merit, not for his fame. His paintings sold well in their own right, proving that his talent extended far beyond the action movie screen. One of the most heartwarming moments revolved around his relationship with a young Kurt Russell. When Russell gave Bronson a remote-controlled airplane, the actor initially seemed unresponsive. But on Russell's birthday, Bronson gave him a high-quality skateboard. When a security guard tried to stop Russell from skating on the lot, Bronson stepped in and declared they were both going to skate. Charles Bronson's personal life was a tapestry of complex relationships. His most significant romance was with actress Jill Ireland, whom he met while filming The Great Escape. In Ireland, Bronson found a partner who truly understood his intense nature. Their relationship, which lasted until Ireland's death in 1990, was a cornerstone of his life, and they appeared in 15 films together. After the passing of Jill Ireland from cancer in 1990, Bronson's world was irrevocably changed. 8 years later, he found love again with Kim Weeks, who remained by his side through his final years. But as time passed, the actor's health began to deteriorate. Bronson faced numerous struggles, including hip surgery and lung cancer, which ultimately led to his decision to retire from acting. He passed away in 2003 at the age of 81. The final years of Bronson's life were marred by familial tension, including public accusations from his first wife toward his widow. Despite his rugged image, Charles Bronson was a shrewd businessman, leaving behind an estate worth approximately $75 million. One of his most cherished items was a painting titled Scoop Town, a reminder of his roots. Bronson's daughter has recently shared a more intimate side of the man behind the screen. Contrary to the hard-edged characters he portrayed, Bronson had a tenderness that was especially apparent when it came to his family. This softer, more reflective side contrasts sharply with the stoic figure the public knew. His story serves as a reminder that powerful legacies are built from challenging experiences.